And we're back, guys, and this is Mikeratto, and this is a What If episode. And for today, we're going to talk about what if CM Punk did not beat John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. The match is awesome in real life. If we change the result, it will gather a lot of changes in the future of pro wrestling and of future of CM Punk. So let's just say in this timeline also, Punk did not resign with the company. Because if you think about it, Punk's contract that he actually said that July 17th in his final day, well, it is really real in that sense. So let's just say that Punk did not resign and Punk lose that match. Punk lose that match to John Cena. So what will happen after match? Well, it's a huge problem by that point because you have a superstar who you are willing to push and you actually made them lost and you did not have the contract negotiations back then and have him agree for another 3-year deal. And that means Punk left the company and joined the other companies as well. So by this point also, let's just say that CM Punk is willing to wrestle for other companies. So yeah, that will happen. What happens to Cena? What happens to WWE? If Cena retains and if the crowd reaction from Chicago and every city forward actually boo him, then there's no choice but to turn Cena heel. By that point, WWE has a lot of heels and Punk resigning, that means that Cena will turn heel after that match because of the crowd reception. Regardless of Del Rio cashing in, well, if the cities actually booed him because of this match and Punk did not win the title, and that means more heat for Cena if the crowd did not react to the way Vince wants them to be, and even the WWE's editing machine for crowds cheer or boos did not work for Cena at this point. He has no choice but to turn heel. But who will face him? Well, there's a lot of superstars by that point who are faces, and Cena by that point is a huge babyface for Monday Night Raw, and Mysterio, John Morrison, and a lot of stars who are actually mid-card faces, well, because WWE has been the John Cena show from 2005. That means that your top guy turning heel is a huge problem, well, because at this time they don't have the number 2 babyface that's like Cena, except for Randy Orton, who is on SmackDown by this point and is feuding with Mark Henry. Or unless if you don't turn Cena heel, Del Rio actually cashing in the middle of the match because he will be the saving factor for Cena's retaining the title, well, because Del Rio will win the title Money in the Bank and there will be a storyline between the two, though I know and I'm aware that the crowd will cheer for CM Punk, well, because of his new promos, and he is more, well, let's just say that he is more a rebel by this point, and they want this type of superstar. And by WWE not resigning him, well, it's a huge factor of this new character, and WWE just lose it. And if you're telling me that Punk resigned and then he agreed to lose at Money in the Bank, well, it will cause more unhappiness for him by that point unless WWE actually grant him something that he will enjoy. So by this what if, let's just say that CM Punk actually left the WWE, and for 90 days he has this no compete clause, and therefore he will return to ROH to build his character and be the face of that brand and actually fight a lot of dream matches from ROH by that point. That means that Punk will also debut in NJPW if ROH and NJPW has a partnership. I'm not sure by this point if they have, but I know that there's a possibility that Punk will actually join NJPW. So what is it for the WWE? Well, they're struggling to find their superstar as the top babyface. Well, because after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, they are missing a huge babyface. No Cena, well, he lost the title to Del Rio. And by Cena losing the title to Del Rio, well, that means that they have this feud, which I'm not sure also if the crowd will be fully 100% invest on it. Just like how Daniel Bryan is over in 2013, 2014 during Cena's and Randy Orton's feud. They cheer for Daniel Bryan. Well, that's it. But I think for this rivalry between Cena and Del Rio, Punk's name will be chanted in every arena if the Money in the Bank, just like in real life, has an effect for every arena because they want CM Punk because of this new character that he is outspoken and is a rebel. And it will take months or years to actually fans to move on by this point unless they see CM Punk on another company, which will cause the fan base of a lot of fans actually more invested in that program that CM Punk is actually being shown, being televised, and is performing. So for the WWE by that point, Cena is actually defeated by Del Rio in their feud, and that means Cena will have also a feud between him and Kevin Nash. Well, let's just say that Kevin Nash returned and WWE wants still to have this program, even though, well, they don't have this much of a heel or Cena against feud with R-Truth or whichever heel there is. And as for Del Rio, well, he will feud with Mysterio and Cena for the time being, and even Mysterio winning the title from Del Rio. Well, after that Mexico thing that WWE actually promotes, well, they will switch the title to Mysterio and Del Rio because the two can actually had good matches with each other, and that will actually wow the crowd. And by this point, WWE will actually push their limits and have this match being awesome as they want to be, like a lot of stipulated matches, so they can actually have the crowd invested in that match and they will pay attention. So after the 90-day no compete close, CM Punk is shown in ROH, and it will actually gather the internet fans to actually comment on that pay-per-view, and they will have this fan base which a lot of fans will go to ROH events all because CM Punk is there and he is over, and he will have a lot of matches with the guys from Ring of Honor. Well, because he said it in a promo that maybe he will go to Ring of Honor, and that's what he did in this timeline, and that's his first step to return there to compete and everything else. Punk in Ring of Honor, well, he is happy by this point. Well, he was unsatisfied with his role in WWE for the past 2009 up to 2011, and now him being at ROH and even winning the ROH championship by that point also, well, he is happy because he is the top guy in Ring of Honor, and he will have a lot of huge matches between the guys of that said brand, unless, well, he will leave Ring of Honor and go to NJPW, or the two has a partnership, which Punk will actually televise himself between those shows. So what happens with the WWE? Well, Del Rio versus Mysterio feud will happen, and yeah, there's a lot of stars who will be also push baby faces and heels. So that means Chris Jericho's return in 2012, he will win the title at WrestleMania 28 to whoever the champion is by then. Well, it makes sense. And as for Cena, well, he will feud with The Rock because of their promised main event spot. And that means Jericho is the champion, who's actually babyface by this point and is not a heel. Well, because Cena is busy with The Rock and they need a face champion. And as for Mysterio, he will drop the title before 2011 ends. That means there's gonna be a heel champion yet again, who will be the face, who will be the biggest heel of the company. Which I think they will have whoever heals by that point. I'm not sure if they will revert the title back to The Miz, or they will put the title on Dolph Ziggler, or whoever heels are then by that roster. So for CM Punk, he is enjoying his ROH run. Dream match here, dream match there, a lot of stipulated matches. Fans are actually going to Ring of Honor pay-per-views and enjoying the show. Actually, he will have a long reign here. He will drop the title to whoever the guy is on by that point. And when he joined NJPW, I think it will be by 2013 or 2014, where I'm not sure if the Bullet Club is there by that point. Let's just say that the Bullet Club is there and he will be revealed as one of its members. Well, because they need a huge name for the Bullet Club, just like what they did with AJ Styles when he joined the Bullet Club. So Punk will be a part of the Bullet Club. And as for the WWE, they will have this a lot of championship matches, and even Jericho will drop the title to whoever they wanted it to be. And even WWE convinces The Rock to have a longer title run just to gather much ratings that they wanted to be, because they will be more dependent in the part-timers, and that's The Rock. He will actually clear his 2012 movie schedules and he will compete for the WWE up to 2013's WrestleMania, and he will drop the title to John Cena. Well, because there's a 434-day title gap, which, well, they need a champion who's a top babyface. And if John Cena by this point, well, he is still not received by the fans because of what happened to Money in the Bank 2011, even if they put the title on him by this point, well, the negative reactions, Vince McMahon will actually notice this, and it will be a huge thing to catalyze a new character for John Cena, and even had a slighter mixture of Dr. Thuganomics and his current gimmick. So for The Rock, he will have an extended title reign. So what happens? Jericho drops the title to Daniel Bryan, which Daniel Bryan, as a heel by this point, will drop the title to The Rock. And because him dropping the title to The Rock, well, there's gonna be more fan support by then. And then after Daniel Bryan loses the title to The Rock, he will actually be on the segments of Team Hell No, and that team will be debuting much later. So what happens? The Rock will win the title either by SummerSlam or by TLC 2012 and have a run with it until WrestleMania 29, which he will drop the title to Cena. And yes, Cena will drop the title again to Daniel Bryan. So yeah. And then the list of champions will go on us by that point. As for Punk's promos in the indie wrestling and in the indie circuit, he will have an enjoyable title reigns here and then. If he is in NJPW, well, he will win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship or the Lightweight Championship, whichever NJPW has their world titles in. Even the G1 Classic, if they want to push him to the moon. Well, because of how he is over with WWE before he left, and his career again with ROH, and he is one of the most well-known guys in the pro wrestling as of that date. Well, I'm sure that they will have dream matches here and there, and they will give Punk something, either a title reign or something, an accomplishment for their company. And that means Punk versus AJ Styles happens here again, and then Punk versus Nakamura, Punk versus Omega, and a lot of dream matches, just a lot of dream matches will happen here, okay? As for the WWE, they have returned to their usual reigns of champions and list of champions. Well, at least I filled the gap for the 434 title reign and for the 2011 mishap of having Punk not win at Money in the Bank and losing him as a competitor in the WWE. And because of him not winning the title at Money in the Bank, it settled in his unhappiness. That's why he also refused to sign with the company, and that's it. So we will also see a possible debut for CM Punk in All Elite Wrestling, and AEW will actually make him either the first or the second champion. Well, yeah. So that's it for this timeline. That's it for this What If. I hope that you all enjoyed this What If. This is an alternate scenario where Punk does not resign with the WWE, and what if CM Punk did not beat John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. This is Mikeratto, and subscribe for more videos, comment down, share, and like for our future What If episodes, and I will put a poll for our next episode. Thank you, and peace.